Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing? B Money, how are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you?
Dude, I'm chilling in the living room tonight.
It looks pretty epic, man. I like that solar flare pumpkin you got on your wall.
It's tight, isn't it?
Is that one of the Target ones?
It is. We got
Yeah,
the Target pumpkin. We got my favorites over there. It's the skeleton in the cauldron, and it's a
Right.
purple. The colors are really, like, obviously the camera's really, you can't really make it out, but it's a skeleton head with a bone, and the light swaps the bone. And then over there we've got, let me see if I just take the camera around. Over there we've got the Grim Reaper.
Oh, nice.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I wanted the purple bat one, but I forgot to go and get it before Halloween was over.
Me and Sydney wanted the purple bat too, but we could never find the bat.
Yeah.
That one was sold out. But I'm in love with them, and we keep them up all year, so I'm sure when Halloween rolls around again, we're going to get more of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, Target was on point with their original Halloween stuff this year. Like they had some really good stuff, man. Like, do you remember back in the 90s, Walmart used to have really good killer Walmart brand Halloween shit?
Oh,
like,
dude.
Walmart used to have really good stuff, man. Like the last 10 years have been garbage, but they used to be so good.
You're not kidding. Let's say hi to the people real quick. Jaden, what's up? Grizzly, what's up? Kaylin, what's up, man? Christian, give us a living room tour. I'll show you guys my wall. Sydney decked out the entire wall with posters. Rock Music Forever, how are you? Johnny Darko, Summertime Blues. Quentin loves trains and horror movies. My Killer Podcast, Rock Music Forever, Fight the Good Fight. Richard Strange, Nathan Mills, Erica Lauren Horn Mason, Jerry Nelson. How is everybody doing? So Brandon, we're back on our bullshit tonight.
Yes, we are.
I've got some unboxings to do, but we don't have to do them right now. We can do those a little bit later.
Excellent.
We're talking video store memory. I thought it would be like, yeah, it's going to be a BS show, but I thought it would be fun to actually like talk some video store memories because of the video I did with my buddy the other day. His name's slipping me. John Flesher from Oklahoma with all his video store standees and stuff. It got me thinking. And I wanted to ask you if you remember seeing any of these in store. But real quick, Ali, thank you for the $2 super chat. How you doing, Ali? Good to hear from you. Sup, guys? Teabag that like button for my teabag the like button. Thank you for the super chat, Ali. God bless. So, Brandon, did you see that video I did with John Flesher with his Nightmare on Elm Street collection?
I did, yeah.
And you saw all the standees that he had?
Yeah, he had a killer collection, man. I'm pretty jealous.
Now, when you were growing up, you went to a mom and pop video store when you were a kid, right? Like not really a Blockbuster. I'm sure you went to a Blockbuster, but did you have like the blank home video, the Johnson home video, or something like that?
It was predominantly a mom and pop called Videoland. There's Blockbusters and movie galleries and stuff too, aplenty, but Videoland was the video store that we went to the most. It was the cheapest, definitely the weirdest one too. So
now, do you remember any sort of display style stuff in terms of like, did they pimp it out with posters for new releases? Did they have stuff on the counter, display stuff, promotional materials?
I think she had a lot of weird shit up on the walls, like posters and stuff, and those pretty much didn't really rotate that much. But I remember her having I'm pretty sure she had a Nightmare on Elm Street 5 stand up behind the counter. But I think one of the arms or one of the tentacle things on the wheelchair or on the crib was bent. And then on the counter, she had an Alien Resurrection like mini stand up thing. That's what I remember her having the most, but it was kind of a bare bones store otherwise, unfortunately.
It's funny. It seems like a lot of people saw or remember seeing the Dream Child standee. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that New Line probably pumped the hell out of that release for VHS or whatever at the time, because literally everybody I talked to that was a kid during that time says, oh, I remember the Dream Child standee every time. And it's funny because the one I have there was a guy my buddy Sean hooked me up with. His uncle or something worked for Media Home Entertainment or something, and he had a number of standees, and he sold them all now. But dude, I could have bought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 one.
Holy crap,
which
that would have
was
been sweet.
I could have, but I literally, he gave me a great deal, but he says, "Look, I'll sell you 2 of the standees for blank." And actually, I'll tell you the price. I have no problem saying the price because nobody knows who the guy is, and I just wouldn't want to divulge his name in case he has anything else for sale and he tries to get max profit for it. But he told me, he goes, "Look, you give me 200, and I will give you 2 standees." And my jaw hit the floor because my Nightmare 4 standee, I'm the first person who ever set it up. I've got the promotional box, cardboard box that the standee came in, and that standee has the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 writing embedded into the cardboard.
That's
and
killer.
he goes, yeah. So he goes, "Look, you can get 2 standees. I've got this, and this." And he had a Howling one that was crazy. I think it actually had a baby cradle too. I think it was like Howling 5 or something.
Yeah.
But and then he had Nightmare 2, Nightmare 4, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I want to say he had like Poltergeist 3 or something. And my allegiance to Elm Street became the better part of valor there. And so I got the Nightmare 2 and Nightmare 4 one. But there are days where I say to myself, you know what, dude, if I would have got that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 one, I would be a bad son of a bitch to this very day.
Was it the Breakfast Club image, that one, the main cover?
No, actually, if I want to say that the Nightmare 2 standee, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 standee was very similar to the Nightmare 2 standee, because the Nightmare 2 standee is just Freddy standing up tall, and he's got his head. I want to say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 one, it's Leatherface holding the chain. It's just Leatherface.
Really?
And he's holding up the chainsaw. I could probably Google images.
I don't think I've seen that. That's trippy. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I like this shit up too. Chainsaw Massacre.
But yeah, the video store standee for that. Tell me if you see it.
I do. That's hardcore, man. Yeah, it's Leatherface. It looks kind of it's sort of like a pre-Photoshop bad, copying or what's I'm looking for, the where they kind of glue the images on top of one another. It looks like that, but it's still killer looking.
Yeah,
he's standing like a pile of skulls and shit. Like it's pretty. I think you missed out, man.
Well, then the Nightmare 2 one is badass too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've got the Nightmare wall, but yeah. So but the cool thing was John. Hello to everybody in here. How's everybody doing? We're talking video store memories. But John got some from like a guy that had a video store in Oklahoma, and he cleaned house, man. He got Nightmare. He basically has Nightmares 1 through 6, dude, because John has, and he says, Christian, I've never seen anybody else have it. I've got a mini Nightmare 1 standee. And if you remember seeing it, like it's a tabletop one is what I like to call them, right? Where you put them on the counter. But dude, these standees, like this is one of my favorite things about this era was the promotional stuff for these movies were fucking insane. Mm-hmm. And these standees and look at the picture I have on the screen. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. You see the cardboard that it comes in is decked out in art. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Nightmare 4 one. Like it's covered in Dream Master art, and like, dude, they're crazy. But yeah, that's the one I could have bought, and I never got it. Now you make me feel bad.
No, I think you made the right choice because the more I look at this image, like I said, it's one of those things where they were cutting layers out of paper, I think, and gluing shit down and then making prints of it. I think the size of his head is kind of distracting. It doesn't look like it matches the proportions of the body.
Yeah.
I think you made the right choice, as cool as this is.
But wait up. I'm looking at the images right now. There's other ones. Like, is this a tabletop one?
Sure,
is this legitimate? Yeah. That must be real. This must have been like a tabletop version that you put on the counter, which those sometimes are just as cool, if not cooler. But anyway, let's see. Justin Smith says we had a video store chain here in Canada called Jumbo Video. The horror section was a horror castle, and it had a life-size Freddy Krueger wax figure.
Dude, that
in a
sounds
cage.
killer.
Holy shit. Oh, man. Michael Sullivan says, I remember renting Sleepaway Camp 2 a lot, and I was 5 going on 6. See, Brandon, I want to get into this. I want to hear about the movies you rented. You probably had no business renting as a kid, or the ones you wanted to, and your mom was like, nope, not doing that to us. What can you remember, Brandon, about being... What are some of your earliest memories where you were like, holy shit, like in terms of like maybe artwork from VHSs or anything like that, where you're like, holy shit, I got to see this?
Obviously the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've said that before. That release was the one where it's sort of like a purple hue, and it's a painting, I think, and it's Leatherface sort of in the bottom middle, and you see like her eyes up top. I'm trying to think of what the artwork is called, but it's not the standard one where it has Leatherface on the side and you see the big thing where he hangs the chick.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's one of the most amazing artworks ever made. That
really freaked me out as a kid, so I saw that movie way too young. Return of the Living Dead Part 1 is a huge one for me from Videoland.
Yeah.
I fucking rented that whole horror section eventually, but there were some questionable movies my mom didn't let me rent, but she would let me rent other shit.
Right.
Like she let me watch Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, that's the one right there.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. She let me rent this, but movies like what was the movie she didn't like me? Do you remember a movie called Rampage? I think it was 89 or 90. It's a really fucked up movie, and I'm not sure if it's based on a true story, but there's a scene where this guy is going around killing people.
And
he kills this family in their house or something, and he goes up to the little kid and he says, "I'm sorry." And the next scene is him like bathing himself in the kid's blood or some weird shit like that. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a fucked up movie. But she didn't want me to see that too young, but she let me see Leatherface movies, which are equally messed up. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand. And I think when I was 4 or 5, maybe not 4 or 5, 6, 7-ish maybe, I saw Traces of Death 1 and 2, I think, whenever those movies came out. I saw them when they were brand new in Videoland. And those movies, they're basically snuff films because they show real depictions of gore and death and scenes of suicides and bombings and really, really messed up real life stuff.
Right.
That really scarred me as a kid.
Jesus.
Now, I didn't see Faces of Death until I was probably 12 or 13. And that was disturbing too, but it was also fun because you knew that 90% of it was actually staged and fake, where Traces of Death, which I actually saw as a little kid, was all fucking real. Jeez. So that movie, I still kind of have a certain level of scarring from that shit. But Rampage, a totally fictitious film, that was off the table. But Traces of Death, that's fine, son. Here, watch this in the dark by yourself.
I've seen Faces of Death. I haven't seen Traces of Death.
Yeah, Traces of Death look at Fight the Good Fight knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, that movie is there's just something about it, man. It's terrible quality footage, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's just all real shit, man.
Well, here we got Creasefold right here with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Creasefold. He says the first VHS you guys ever rented, Darkman for me. I know what mine is.
I don't think I could tell you what mine was, the very first one I rented.
I can tell you the first VHS I personally ever rented with my own money. And it's weird, but mine is Puppet Master. And the reason I did, because look, technically I never rented, like my first VHS, I remember my family renting, including me as a part of it, like for me to watch was Rocky. I remember that vividly. But there's probably some before that. Like maybe it was the Street Fighter movie, the Van Damme one, because I remember I ended up buying the copy from Blockbuster that was there, and I wore that sumbitch to the ground, man. Yeah. I dogged that VHS out, man. I watched Street Fighter so many times. I have it memorized till this day. But when I started getting into horror, I'll never forget it. I was renting movies from Blockbuster, and I wanted to rent Puppet Master. And Charlie Band never had the right to, let me get rid of this tab real quick. So Charlie Band never had the rights to the movies yet, so he couldn't put the movies out on DVD himself yet. And it was like 2010, and my Blockbuster, all they had for Puppet Master 1 through 5 at the time were VHS tapes. So I literally had to rent the VHS tape for Puppet Master to watch it. I had
That's
seen
awesome.
clips. You know what's funny? And I'll let you answer this, but before I forget about this, when I was really little, my dad got like a free trial of HBO, and I just remember being terrified when I remember seeing puppets on TV, and it was Puppet Master, and all I remembered was an image of one of the puppets shooting a laser gun. And as I got older, I convinced myself that was so ludicrous that I had made that up in my head, that there's no way on earth puppets were shooting guns with like lasers coming out of them. And so when I finally watched Puppet Master 4, I was like, dude, it was the craziest revelation of my life, because I realized, no, this was real.
Yep. The flooding of memories is crazy, man.
Yeah. But that's technically mine. Where I purchased it or I rented it was Puppet Master. So can you remember what your first VHS was? Thank you, by the way, Creasefold.
I can't remember what was the first VHS. I could probably tell you that the first one I rented with my own money, I can't tell you specifically, but it was probably from Blockbuster, because Videoland would have been closed by this time. They closed really early in the 2000s, but Blockbuster, I probably would have rented something off a new release shelf with money from like mowing the grass or something stupid. So, but I rented a lot of those weird early 2000s straight to DVD films. I rented a lot of those versus like new movies that were popular. So it was probably something stupid like Killjoy or there's something on that level. You know what I mean? There was a lot of those in Blockbuster popping up.
Yeah. Especially in terms of Killjoy, you're talking Full Moon again. Dude, Charlie was fucking cranking out movies during that era.
He was.
Dude, just left and right. But, you know, speaking of Charlie, how much were you probably mesmerized by all those Full Moon movies, like the artwork on the shelf, looking at, like, one of the most amazing artworks is Robot Wars, where the front cover is those big freaking contraption things battling.
Yep.
Which, you know, I love that movie, by the way. It's a sequel to Robot Jocks, which I like Robot Wars even more. It's got Barbara Crampton in it and stuff. But, dude, I remember being really little, just being obsessed with looking at the cover of Demonic Toys. It scared the shit out of me. I tell my spouse, I can never watch that. That will ruin my life. You know,
I really miss the novelty of going to the video store and being enamored with that artwork from all those videotapes, man.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we have the Google search at our fingertips and we can look at that stuff anytime we want to, but it's not the same. It's not the same kind of scratching the itch that it was going to the actual store, man.
Ali said he rented Halloween 5 as a new release in 1990.
That's crazy.
Now, Brandon, have you been, like, Nick obviously is a diehard Halloween 5 fan, and I think he's been like that since he watched it. It took me a while, and I really became a bigger fan after I started getting into Italian cinema. And I it's funny because I convinced myself I'm making parallels that aren't there. But when I watched your video on that, I was like, maybe I'm not full of shit. Like, maybe this film really is kind of like just that quirky foreign director bringing his flair into an American franchise, which is why it feels weird. And Loomis's quirk. I mean, were you always a fan of it, or did you start just looking at it differently as you got older and started watching more movies too?
You know, I rented Halloween 5 a lot, or, you know, regularly. Probably just as much as I rented Halloween 4 as a kid.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed the film. And I think it's one of those movies that, you know, when you're a kid, you watch a lot of horror movies over and over that you don't necessarily like. You just watch them again and again for some reason. Yeah. Halloween 5 was sort of like that. Like, I enjoyed it, but I think even then I knew it wasn't really one of my favorite ones. But I did have a recording of it on VHS. I must have did when I visited Grandma's house some weekend, I had the rental, had her do the double tape thing, record it for me. return the tape to the store. I
Yeah.
still have that somewhere, but I liked it enough to do that, with the tape. So I must have enjoyed it to that extent. But it really did become like now I love the film. So it really started growing on me in the probably mid to late 2000s and into the 2010s. And now I'm just like, yeah, I love Halloween 5. It's not as good as Halloween 4 or 6 for me. But then again, I don't really hate any of the Halloween films.
I'm just glad you like Halloween 4. I feel like Halloween 4 is starting to get more shit nowadays.
It is.
You know what I
There's
mean?
a lot of people who say that it looks too flat.
It
It
doesn't
looks
look
too
flat.
cheap. It doesn't to me. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I think people are so.
I think Halloween 4 has the best goddamn poster possibly in the entire franchise. That poster with the house in the background is insane.
Yeah.
I wish I can get a 27 by 40 of that, but that damn website I use, they don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that time you made the image where you took and we
Yeah, that
talked.
blew my mind, man.
You had to have been able. I can't be the only one who's ever thought of that, though. I mean, it seems so obvious.
I think everybody subconsciously knows that the images are from one, basically. But when you put the damn logo on there, it becomes a whole new beast. You know what I mean? So, like, that was just insane.
Yeah.
So,
What's up, Akeem? How you doing?
yeah, I think I'm with you. The Halloween 4 poster is killer. I think the Halloween 2 poster is my favorite, but Halloween 4 is up there.
Oh, dude, that skull jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
a crazy design for back then,
That's why I got it tattooed on me.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's funny that I have Halloween tattoos on me instead of anything like this. It just naturally became my Halloween arm.
Yeah,
so now I got to
awesome.
get a silver shamrock logo. Dude, that hurt like a bitch. And I am a bitch. Don't get me wrong. But when he was shading right here, he was like, "Hey man, do we need to stop? Do we need to stop?" I was like, "No, just fucking finish. I'm not coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Finish it." And I was just like wincing in pain.
Oh man.
Do you have any tattoos?
I do not. No, I can't.
Don't get any. Don't get any.
Yeah, my OCD wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to stand it. I would keep thinking there's like dirt on me or some shit. I keep wanting to wash it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. Ali asked you a question. He says, Tabata, you are about my age. Do you remember when Cinemax had the horror marathon called Sunday Bloody Sunday? You can find trailers on YouTube.
I do not. We didn't really have Cinemax when I was a kid. We had Cinemax and HBO for a few months one time, but I'm pretty sure it's because we were stealing cable. Or my parents.
What?
Pretty sure that's how it was happening. Whatever that means. I'm not sure what that meant back then, but the stealing cable thing. But no, I do not remember that. Nor do I remember much of Cinemax at all. Whichever one played Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead over and over, that's the one I remember more.
Dude.
HBO or Cinemax.
That's a great fucking movie, too.
It is.
Yeah. Some of my later memories, though, of actually, you know what, dude? There is actually getting a bigger groundswell I'll see on I'll get meme. I say memes. It's just like story pictures nowadays where it's not really memes or anything. There's a bigger and bigger vocal presence of people saying, why are you guys praising Blockbuster? They were cancerous to the mom and pop video stores. They destroyed the industry and monopolized it. So why do we praise Blockbuster and have it in such nostalgic regard? What do you think about that line of comment on it? Because I'm seeing that more and more. I remember Dead Pitch sharing a thing about that. Like, they weren't saying it, but they shared like I'm talking about like hey, they destroyed the business. Really, they all the people that did it themselves, they ran them out of town. I mean, is there something there with that, or
I don't know. That's a great question. I guess I would need to see some numbers, you know what I mean, to really get into it. But most of the mom and pop video stores, at least in my area that I have experience with, they really weren't. I mean, Blockbuster was around here until 2000, I want to say 10-ish, maybe. Videoland closed in like 2001. Movie Gallery here and there's a couple other ones. They stayed open almost till Blockbuster. So I didn't really see many video stores being chased out of town by Blockbuster. You know what I mean? Like, because other video stores had different stuff.
right?
I think Blockbuster got way too expensive for a while, and then they started cutting their prices. Because towards the end of Blockbuster's run, they had that deal. What was it? It was like 5 for 5 or
Oh,
something.
dude. Yeah, or you could pay like $10, 10 or $12. I forgot what it was, but like you paid like something,
Yeah.
and you just rented your heart out. You got that card, and you. I watched a documentary on Blockbuster on YouTube the other day, and somebody just said, okay, so on Netflix, I remember scrolling on Netflix one day, and I saw Blockbuster. I was like, what the hell is this? They made a Netflix show called Blockbuster, and it's about the last Blockbuster, I guess, in Bend, Oregon. And I tried watching it, and it was just really shitty. And it sucked.
I heard bad things about it.
And I'm not surprised if it already got canceled. The numbers for it probably were.
I heard it got canceled. I heard there was a joke saying, "Look, Netflix killed Blockbuster twice."
Yeah, dude, I tried to watch it because I think it's the Kumar guy from Harold and Kumar, or maybe it's Harold. It's the Asian guy. I forget which one's which. Kumar was in the Kumar is the he's in the Santa Claus's show. Okay,
so it's probably the Harold guy you're thinking of.
But yeah, I tried watching a little bit of it, and I was just like, man, this is painful. This is really painful. So I stopped. So I made it through like 20 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, nope, not doing that to us.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought that would be interesting. But Blockbuster, man, I remember when I was growing up, I think we only really went to Blockbuster on the couple times a month. We'd come to my grandma's house for the weekend, and they would go to Blockbuster at her house. So we'd go to Blockbuster then. But it was back then it was just too expensive. You know what I mean? To go to Blockbuster all the time. So we went to Videoland because Videoland was $1 per rental as long as you returned it the next day. That was for videotapes or video games. So it was, looking back, it's kind of, so if you rented it at 7 o'clock at night, you'd still have to, bring it back the next fucking day, or you get a late fee. So I guess that was kind of stupid, but it was cheap. As long as you watched it or played the game that night, it was fine. Movie Gallery was a little bit more often for a time than Blockbuster because they were cheaper than Blockbuster, and they had a lot of weird shit at Movie Gallery that Videoland did not have.
Why do you think if all the, it's crazy, if these places were cheaper than Blockbuster, why were people not going there? Like, you know what I mean?
I think there was just a prestige quality to Blockbuster. It was always clean. Because let's face it, Movie Gallery and all those kind of places, and Videoland too, as much as I love it, and the owner who worked there, those places had a very gritty, sleazy vibe.
Which we would probably nut to try to go in and revisit.
Yeah. I think Blockbuster, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I think Blockbuster was just that mainstream prestige. Like, what's a good example? Like, people today rather go to Walmart than a fucking mom and pop department store. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. I wouldn't want to go to Walmart over a mom and pop department store, but that's the thing. Not that Walmart is prestigious by any means necessary, but
yeah,
if I'm making any fucking sense at all.
Well, it's the difference, I guess, between a Cadillac and a Pontiac. People want. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a shame. I told you I think people know that I somehow 30 minutes from me, actually not really, like 20, there's a video store called National Video that is still open. And I've done videos there, and I film in there, and I buy DVDs from them. I buy stuff from the horror section from there. And I remember asking, I remember I was telling you, I was like, I should probably one day call up and be like, hey, I want to interview the owner. And like, I want to interview him in the store and get a nice setup where I can have him sitting by, where I can have a great backdrop for it. That place is amazing because the wallpaper is still from the 90s, because there's like the wallpaper is like a collage of like cinema, and there's the Jaws shark, and right next to that is Super Mario from Super Mario 64. Wow. And it's from like 1996 or the wallpaper. That's crazy. I remember I asked him, I was like, how do you stay open? And he says, dude, there is a senior citizen community that they just come and they rent Blu-rays and DVDs. And like, I remember when Top Gun Maverick just came out, I went over there a couple weeks ago. I didn't film, but like, dude, that wall, more than half of the DVD or the Blu-rays were rented. More than half. And I'm talking like, you know how on Blockbuster when like Vanilla Sky came out, they'd have the wall of them.
Yep.
Dude, and they were rented. So it's crazy. Like these people are keeping this place open. But he'll let me buy DVDs like if I want to get some out of print stuff. Like I got the Hitcher, the Rutger Hauer movie, The Dark Half, the George Romero film, which came out from Scream Factory and literally 3 weeks after it came out went out of fucking print, which pisses me off. I don't understand how that happens with Scream Factory, where titles just go right the hell out of print. Like Slumber Party Massacre 3, if you want to own that on Blu-ray, you have to get that double pack, and you literally have to sell your soul to the devil to get that. But yeah, but he's gotten pretty wise on some of that out of print stuff, so he's starting to charge me $20-$25, which still ain't bad. But I'll never forget the first one I bought from him was Children of the Living Dead. I went in there and I was like, "Hey man, I got to ask you a question." He's like, "What's up?" I said, "You got 3 copies of Children of the Living Dead." How much would first off, I didn't want to ask him if I could buy it. I was just like, if I rented that and never returned it, what would happen? And he's like, "Do you just want to buy it?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, I'm not asking to like be a total piece of crap like that." And then he sold it to me for $12. He goes, "I'll give it to you for $12." And I was like, "All right." That's one of those movies that's so bad. I love it, but I had to own it. You know,
especially from a video store used. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But no, dude, he's still open and operating, and I I hope he sticks around.
Yeah, good for him. You should tell him, look, dude, if you ever close, call me. I want a good price on your video shelves.
Oh, without question.
That would be awesome.
Because it's the floating shelves that are like in the middle of the store, and they're double-sided. Oh, dude, they're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. I've done told Sydney if he ever goes out of business, I'm buying at least 2 or 3 of them, and we're just making a makeshift.
Yes. Yep. That's the dream, man.
We're gonna figure it out, And then I want to get one of those wall mounts that you have to get dead on a stud and put the CRT TV on there with the strap around it.
Yep.
You gotta have the strap on it.
That'd be fantastic.
Man. But yeah, man. I don't know. Do you have any other movies that you recall that you would just stare? 13 Ghosts. I used to stare at the back of the VHS box, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about and why.
Yeah.
That broad, the devil, the demon. Yeah. I used to stare at it all the time. Every time we went there, I'd look at it.
Dude, there's so many VHS tapes that I was enamored with. The Ghoulies VHS tape blew my mind.
Oh, I bet.
The Shock 'em Dead VHS tape. For some reason,
you love that movie.
I love it. It blew my mind. It's not even a very impressive looking VHS tape. For some reason, though, I was just into it. The Trick or Treat VHS tape blew my mind. You know, with the rocker guy with Sammy Hagar. I'm not Sammy Hagar. I'm sorry. Sammy Kerr. Sammy Kerr in the Ring of Fire, and there's like the monster over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Dude, that VHS was awesome. Sammy Hagar.
Dude.
There weren't really bad tapes. You know what I mean? Like horror back then. Like everything looked cool.
Every fucking VHS artwork.
Everything.
And it's almost crazy when you really think about it. Some of the worst movies ever had the most amazing artwork.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, just amazing artwork. God, dude. And that's why we always clamor for the original artwork on these releases that come out. Like some of the new artwork that gets commissioned from like Justin Osborne. It's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I think Justin Osborne did a killer job on Return of the Living Dead, Scream Factory, that collage style. Yeah. But I mean, you will never be able to top. I don't care who you are. Nope. That zombie punk and the girl hanging on you can't beat it.
Yeah, or the fucking part 2 poster, that painting of the graveyard with the sky mouth.
I call it the tornado, the zombie tornado.
Yeah,
and tell me, dude. I was gonna say really quick. I want to know what the chat thinks about this. This is a hill I will die on every single day of the week. The Return of the Living Dead 2 poster should at least be in everybody's top 10 greatest 80s horror movie posters of all time. That zombie tornado is one of the most beautiful works of art I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
ever. I mean, that's probably my top 5 greatest 80s horror movie posters ever made. Ever.
It's fantastic. I would put 1 and 2 in that top 10 best 80s horror movie posters. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely.
They're too
I think
iconic.
2's better. Crazy enough, I think the second movie's poster is better than the first movie's.
It's a great painting, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, there's any big box mystery, big box memories.
Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Ali. So, like, remember the Wizard Video stuff? Did you ever see those?
Big box. There's a couple big box stuff I remember, and I'm trying to think of what it was.
Midnight Video.
Oh, you know what? I think I've talked about this before. It was a big box. It was that Return of the Alien Deadly Spawn movie.
Yeah,
I think it's just released. It's just called The Deadly Spawn in some countries. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like about the basement monster.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a big box version of that at either Videoland or Movie Gallery. I think it might have been at Movie Gallery, if I'm remembering that correctly. I think that was a big box for some fucking reason.
I never saw any big boxes, at least not that I can recall. I can just tell you this. The big box Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Wizard Video is like one of the most holy grail items I could ever want. But crazily enough, did you know that Wizard Video actually partnered with Vestron and they put out... Did you see that little video I did today about the CED format?
No, I didn't watch that yet.
Or did you see the picture I put? So you know what a CED is?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's very limited, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre got the Wizard Video CED release. And if you can find that thing, dude, it's fucking expensive.
So keep my eyes peeled at the flea markets.
Dude, yeah. I mean, just to find a CED would be expensive, but if to find that one, dude, you may as well just like ask somebody to shoot you because you'll never feel that joy again in life.
Christian, you know? check your private chat real quick. I sent you an image. I found that big box I was talking about, so I know it exists. It's a real thing. Return of the
Aliens Deadly Spawn. Here, let me share the screen.
Yeah.
So you remember seeing this all the time?
This is the one I rented. My first exposure to that movie. That movie is fucking great, by the way. It's fantastic, man.
No, I believe it. I love the name.
There it is. Tell me that's not fantastic.
It is. It's pretty banging. Silent Night, Deadly Night had a big box, Ali? God damn, I didn't know that. Black Roses had a big box? Dude, we got to talk about Black Roses. I remember Maniac Cop 3 VHS cover and telling my grandma he was a good guy killing bad guys. So I was able to rent it as a little kid. Dude, that's genius.
That's not lying if you look at it a certain way.
No. Funnily enough, King Kong 1976 had a 2-tape set, the first hour and 30 minutes and 17 minutes on tape 2. Dude, I am such a fan of King Kong 76.
That's the one with Lange, right? She's in that movie?
Yeah. And dude, that's like for the 70s, they made a killer giant monkey. It's badass.
Sorry to interrupt you, Christian. I remember the second one. I looked it up. I'm confirming it. The Body Shop had a big box, and I think that was at Videoland. Do you remember Body Shop by any chance?
No. Let me look it up, though.
Body Shop. I can't tell you it's a damn thing about that movie, but I remember renting it. I remember it was a big box on the shelf.
That's
next to like Kindred or some shit. Yeah, that's it right there.
That is it. Holy crap. Look at that thing.
Body Shop, man.
That looks amazing.
I'm having a flood of nostalgia here, and I cannot believe video stores really existed and we went to them.
I know, right?
Like, it's such a weird memory. Like going to a fucking store, and I don't know, man. That's just so crazy that we lived through that.
Oh man.
20 years from now, kids are not going to believe that we went to a giant room, and rented movies one by one.
Let me ask you this, and let me ask the chat this. Do you think restaurants are ever going to go away? Like going to a restaurant to sit down and eat with people?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, it's too much of a social aspect. But the problem is we're losing the actual social aspect of life.
We are.
You know? How many people Grubhub now or get their food dropped off at their front door?
And when you go out to eat now, how many people do you see sit down next to you and like they're instantly just on their phones, not talking to each other?
Yeah.
I see that so much. I'm like, this is depressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Y'all got a point too. People like to drink in public. Yeah. John McCullough says Zombie Lake had a big box. Dude, Zombie Lake is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I love it.
Well, did you prefer Zombie Lake or Oasis of the Zombies? Which did you like more? Because I think they're remakes of each other, aren't they?
I don't. Oasis of the Zombies is not ringing a bell to me, so I don't even think I've seen that.
Yeah.
But Zombie Lake is fucking terrible. It's stupid. The thing is, the big box VHS art is literally a Picasso. It's so good.
Really?
It's amazing. Let me show you.
Up. Okay,
Yeah.
Show me. Bring it up.
Zombie Lake big box VHS. It's a Picasso, dude. All right, here we go. I mean, Wizard used to kill it with their big boxes. All right, here we go. Look at that. It's this gorgeous painting.
I have seen that poster before. Yeah.
Look how beautiful that is.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie just looks like this cheap pile of shit.
Yeah, they were Nazi zombies in that movie too, weren't they?
If memory serves. I mean,
they were
Oasis
of the Dead too.
Yeah, it's certainly not as good as one of my favorite movies of all time, Shockwaves.
Shockwaves is fan-fucking-tastic.
That's Ken Wiederhorn, too. Return of the Living Dead 2 director.
Oh, true.
How awesome is that?
Yeah,
Wiederhorn's a hell of a director, dude.
Yeah. Is he? I don't think he is. He's not anywhere on the Blu-ray, is he? On that Scream Factory release from a couple of years ago.
Oh, yes, he is.
Is he? I don't remember him being on there.
Not only is he on there, he actually talked about stuff I never heard before, like how heavily Laura Marr tested the movie and decided, like there was actually a moment where he made it sound like they weren't sure if they wanted to do a nationwide rollout on Return of the Living Dead 2, but he said the movie kept testing good and kept testing good. But the problem is they couldn't market it properly because the marketing made it seem like it was going to be a dark horror film.
Yeah.
And he felt that wasn't the right thing to do. So the movie was successful, but modestly. But he talked all about how they tested the film and stuff like that. I love Ken Wiederhorn because he doesn't bullshit.
I'm going to have to rewatch those special features then. Because I feel like everybody from that movie kind of trashes him as a director. You know what I mean?
Well, they all say he was ambivalent to the stuff because he didn't want to be a horror movie director. But the irony is the three films people remember the most are... I forgot the name of that slasher film he did, but then he did Shockwaves, and then he did Return of the Living Dead 2. So, I like him though as a person. I think, and he certainly doesn't trash the film. He said, "I wanted to make a horror comedy." And his thing was, he gets a bad rap, man, because people say, "Oh, he just copied the first film." What happened was he wrote a screenplay called Grave Robbers, and it was a zombie film, but it was going to be a zombie revenge film because James Cameron's character was doing the same stuff. He was stealing the jewelry off of the corpses in the mausoleum, and they come to life and attack him. Well, Tom Fox was like, "Hey, I like this script. Why don't we just make this Return of the Living Dead?" So, that's how that got tied into his script. But so people thought he just ripped off the movie, but he was doing something else. But
yeah.
Tom Fox did not know what a sequel meant. Like, when you think about it, instead of making a film after the first movie, he had to, he was just like, screw it. Let's just basically do it again and have James Cameron and Tom. But dude, that's what makes it so special to me. Like, who the fuck else does that? Who makes a
Yeah.
sequel like that? Where it's meta as fuck.
Dude, speaking of part 2, I know that Don Calfa, he was probably going to play the part, I'm assuming, of the doctor guy, right? The guy with the car. Personally, I love the guy who played the doctor in part 2 as is. So if you could go back and make things work out, would you prefer Don Calfa or keep it as is? Because the guy in there is funny as fuck already.
Keep
What
it
is
as
his name?
is.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about that. That guy was perfect.
fantastic.
This car's cherry, pal.
Yeah.
No, he worked great, especially when he got him at the hospital and he was like testing him. He was the right comedic approach. Now, I would have put Don Calfa in Return of the Living Dead 3, which he wanted to do, but he was going through, I remember reading in the book, he was going through some really bad divorce issues or something, and he took a break from acting, I think, for a few years. But I would have put No, I'm lying to you. That was Return of the Living Dead 4 Necropolis. He was going to be in that.
Oh, that would have been fucking weird.
Yeah.
What the
But
hell?
that's when he was going through some personal issues, marriage-wise and stuff, and he was taking a break from acting. What happened was he was going to be in Return of the Living Dead 3 as the dad of Melinda Clarke's boyfriend. What's his name in the movie?
Fuck. It's not Kyle, is it?
I wanted to say it's Kyle, but
Is it Kyle? It can't be Kyle.
But the dad's the military guy.
Right. So Don Calfa would have played the military guy, huh?
But Don wanted to make that character stupid. Like the way he screwed the way the ballistic test got screwed up in the beginning. Right.
Yeah.
He wanted to make that character like a buffoon. And Brian Usna was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then he just didn't do the film. But in my mind, tell me Don Calfa would have been a great Riverman. The black guy was great as the Riverman, but Don could have been crazy with his big bug eyes and stuff.
Oh, it would have been hilarious. Yeah, it would have been funny as fuck.
Yeah. He could have been great as the Riverman, but, I don't know. But, dude, 3 is so good.
3 is a masterpiece, man.
It's funny when I was listening to don't let me forget I got to unbox these movies, but Quentin Tarantino was on Eli Roth's History of Horror podcast, and he was asked about Return of the Living Dead. And this is the weird thing about Quentin. He goes, I don't like Return of the Living Dead because I don't like Dan O'Bannon. And I'm listening to this, and Eli's like, what do you mean? And Eli said, what are you talking about, Quentin? He goes, oh, I got in an argument with him. I just don't like him, so I'm not a Return of the Living Dead fan. Like, what? Mm-hmm. And then Eli was like, do you like any of the Return of the Living Deads? And he goes, well, I like the third one because it's a Reanimator film. And I thought that was a weird statement, but he's kind of not wrong, because instead of trioxin being used in a way that it just resurrects dead bodies, he was in essence trying to be. He was the best friend. He was the friend in Reanimator that's girlfriend dies, and it's kind of like Reanimator 2, Bride of Reanimator, when that patient, the girl from Halloween 4,
yeah.
He's reactionary to the death and uses the trioxin as a reagent kind of thing, So that, I guess he's kind of right about that,
I can see that, yeah.
But I just think it's weird that he doesn't like Return of the Living Dead because he had an argument with Dan O'Bannon. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if I have an argument, if for some reason me and Martin Scorsese are fighting over a taxi and he gives me grief, like, I'm gonna say, oh, I don't like Goodfellas. Because I got an argument with Martin Scorsese.
There's no way that Tarantino, at least the first one, there's no way Tarantino doesn't fucking love the original Return of the Living Dead. There's no way he doesn't like that film. He may not like Dan O'Bannon, but he knows he loves that fucking movie. There's no way he does not love that movie.
He's got to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me start opening up some of this stuff. One of my buddies sent me a package, but let's see what we got. All right. Oh, here you go. You can give me your thoughts on this. Total
Oh,
Recall
nice. Wow.
4K.
I didn't even know that was on 4K.
A lot of Arnie's movies have hit 4K. This is the 30th anniversary. I always think Total Recall is like an 80s film, but it's 1990.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me know what the transfer looks like on that, because I've heard terrible things about the T2 one.
Oh, dude, it's the worst ever. It's DNR'd, but that steelbook is one of the most amazing 4K steelbooks I've ever seen, and it finally went on sale for like, I don't know, $10 at Best Buy because it's been out for over a year now, and I picked it up just out of respect for the film. But it's a bad one.
Yeah.
But check this out. This is what I'm really excited about. You ready for this? I know you love this movie.
The Running Man. Oh, nice.
4K.
That's on 4K? What the fuck?
And it's a steelbook.
Who's putting that out?
Paramount.
Okay. Dude, everything's fucking exploding out of 4K all of a sudden.
I think we finally hit the renaissance of 4K.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, if Return of Swamp Thing's getting a 4K.
You know
Everything's
what's
getting a 4K.
well, you know what's funny? Oh, dude, look at this. It's got a slip cover.
Yeah.
And it's a steelbook.
Oh shit. I haven't seen that before. That's weird.
Dude, the
That's
Running Man
hardcore.
is so fucking good. Let's see what the art is on the back.
A slipcover on a steelbook. That's insane. Okay.
And it's just the 4K. No Blu-ray.
Really? I thought the cover said 4K plus Blu-ray. No?
Digital.
Oh, okay. That's weird. That'll kind of piss me off, I think, if it's 4Ks without the Blu-ray inside.
Well, as long as the price is reflective of the missing disc, meaning like if it's cheaper,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, if it's not $30, it'll be okay.
Dude, that's awesome. I can't wait to watch this. So got Running Man and Total Recall on 4K. Got my Arnie fix. But here, check this out. All right, so my buddy Kyle sent me a box set on 4K. Holy shit, Brandon. Kyle, if you're watching this, thank you. Look how thick this is.
Wow.
Resident Evil.
PS5 4K movie essentials.
It does say that, doesn't it?
Why?
Oh,
does say that?
it says watch 4K on the PS5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is the Resident Evil set.
All is it
They don't
6
have-
movies or 7?
It's got Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil Retribution, and Resident Evil Final Chapter. So it doesn't have the raccoon movie.
Yeah.
I never saw the raccoon one.
Me neither. I haven't seen the final chapter.
Are you a big fan of these?
Not really. I really tried with every film to get into them, but it's like, I really did like Retribution. I thought that was really cool because you had the giant, what were they called? The Ganados from Resident Evil 4. I think they were called that. The guys with the sack heads and the chainsaws.
Oh,
And
dude.
the axes. They're in that movie. And I'm like, that was really well done for that, at least one scene. Yeah, like the Russian zombie. Have you seen Resident Evil Retribution?
Yes.
Okay, the Russian zombies and stuff. Like there was some cool stuff in that film. But I didn't really enjoy any of those movies on a base level. Cool box set though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I bet you they look good too. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna watch these soon. Thank you, Kyle. If you're watching this, dude, that's badass. So yeah, dude, we've hit the 4K renaissance. It's like, you know, it's funny. There's a channel, or there's a guy I know called Basement Blues. He showed off a 4K he got today. My best friend's wedding on 4K.
Wow.
My best friend's wedding. That's a title that screams 4K restoration.
My biggest problem with 4K so far is that the bulk of the 4Ks that I own, I don't see a huge leap from the Blu-ray versions, which kind of sucks.
Here's the thing. are you buying boutique label 4Ks, meaning like Vinegar Syndrome stuff?
Not all, not always. Just like if a new title comes out or one that I've seen comes out in 4K and I don't own it, I'll buy it. But I'll just be like, this is not worth the $25-$30 I paid for it.
But here's the deal. Okay. I hear you.
Yeah.
I'll never forget getting Zombieland Double Tap on 4K and just hating life. Hating life. If you get a 4K of a movie from Blue Underground, for the most part, even Scream Factory or these boutique labels, they're restoring these movies to the umpteenth degree. I mean, they really are. I can't tell you how impressive Tix was on 4K. Tix.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's insane. And then there are some titles that really raised the bar and made it like, holy shit. Like Pet Sematary was one of the highest rated 4Ks ever.
Dude, you know what? I haven't watched that yet. I've had the 4K for 2 years and I have not watched the 4K of it yet.
Dude,
I need to watch that version now.
The picture quality was so good on the 4K. Like when you watch it, it's like the image is 3D. You can really see all the data in the image. It's so uncompressed and beautiful. But the problem is, I would say 9.5 out of 10 times when people got into Blu-ray from DVD, they would be like, "Oh wow, like this is really crisp."
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is 4K. It's more like 5 or 6 on a better average for people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if you get 3 bad 4Ks in a row, people are out. And I don't blame them, man. I don't blame them because there are companies that really don't give a shit. And they just slap 4K on it. Terminator 2 is one of the big, like, you've got a title that Terminator 2 is one of those movies that the average casual physical media person at best, meaning what I mean by that is people that have a PS5 because people have PlayStations and they say, oh, well, they play 4K movies. Oh, Terminator 2 came out on 4K? Oh, yeah. I'll get Terminator because that's a mainstay title. That's a title that sells. They get that on 4K and they say, I don't get it. What's the big deal? And then, dude, it sucks because some of the biggest titles in the world look like shit.
Yeah.
But then you got movies like, like I said, like Tix or like Alligator or, Life Force that come out on 4K from Scream Factory. And it's like, holy shit, this looks amazing. Like Funhouse had no business looking as good as it did.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
The Scream Factory of Funhouse, like that was very unsuspecting too, because Funhouse is a very dark movie. It's at nighttime at the carnival, but Funhouse had some of the best black levels I've ever seen on a 4K. I mean, it looked phenomenal. So, but I don't look, dude. It's all over the place, and the big companies for the most part they screw them up. They don't do a damn thing right, and it's almost like they literally just slap it on a 4K disc. They just slap it on a 4K disc. I understand why people are like, fuck this. I do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Roadhouse and Texas Chainsaw 2 on 4K. They came in the mail, so I'm super stoked to pop them in this weekend and watch them.
That Texas Chainsaw 2 is probably one of the best releases of the year. The whole last the whole second the first, there's 3 discs, the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the second Blu-ray. The first Blu-ray is literally nothing but new special features. The whole disc is nothing but new special features.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a proper 4K release of Texas Chainsaw 1?
It's coming. Yet? Dark Sky Films just announced it.
Really? That's strange.
Well, it's not the first time. It's already been released on 4K, just not in America. Second Sight's supposed to be doing a 4K. Dark Sky's putting it out. I never heard the best things about those German 4K releases of it. But yeah, it's finally happening, and it'll be interesting to see how much that title pushes on 4K. Mm-hmm. I've seen some stuff that was shot on 16 that was restored in 4K, and some of it looks fucking amazing. You know. So
have you seen the Alien films in 4K yet?
Yes.
How does Alien 3 look? Is it a good transfer?
I don't think Alien 3's been on 4K. At least
Really?
I don't own it. I know that the first one. I know the
Oh,
first one's on 4K.
okay. I
Matter
thought
of
they released
fact,
the whole thing. Maybe they didn't.
I don't. Matter of fact, I'm almost thinking that only Alien has hit 4K.
That's got to
No,
look pristine, though, right? That's got to look fantastic in
oh,
4K.
oh, it's amazing. The chat will know for sure. I know I've seen Alien in 4K. I have it.
Yeah,
I
you're
have
right. Aliens
Alien.
is not in 4K.
Yeah, I have Alien in 4K. And guess why? Aliens probably hasn't hit 4K yet because stupid ass James Cameron with his bullshit Avatar Way of Water crap he's been working on since 1997.
Yeah,
You know,
you think he would have like held the hands of the powers that be and made a quality 4K release of T2. You know what I mean?
I think he's into DNR. I really do. I think he's into it. I think he wants to eliminate film grain and natural film image because the Aliens Blu-ray, so many people are pissed off about those. A lot
Oh
of
no,
people don't like the Aliens Blu-ray.
I haven't watched them yet.
I've got the Aliens I've got the Aliens Blu-ray and the quadrilogy, and that looks good. But
Yeah.
I don't know that he restored. Like, there's an Aliens Blu-ray you can get that looks like absolute dog shit. It's just completely shined. It looks like Scream 4,
Yeah.
just ridiculously sleek, like almost fake. People don't want that crap, man.
No.
You know. And then you got True Lies, which it's people are they get visibly angry when you mention True Lies. Arguably one of the best James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger, possibly Arnold's best film from the 90s, with, for me, the exception of maybe Terminator 2 or Last Action Hero. But when you look at the 90s, you have to mention True Lies for Arnold, or just Arnold General. And everybody keeps saying the transfer's done. It just has to get, quote unquote, approved.
Well, I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but it popped up on eBay, a couple new copies.
The Spanish?
That Spanish region-free version, I want to buy it, but it's $30, but I'm afraid it's going to get here and not actually be region-free. I can't find like reviews on it. You know what I mean?
Well, what it probably is, I could tell you, I can't guarantee you this is the case. What happened was there's I don't know who it is, but there's a bunch of Spanish Blu-rays that I've gotten of movies that were out of print. Like I got Neon Maniacs and stuff like that. And this guy hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I know those Spanish Blu-rays you're getting. They're really technically bootlegs. They're not really like legitimate official releases.
Really?
And they just like, I don't know how they get away with it, but they just put the shit out. They did Jason Goes to Hell uncut.
Okay. I have that. They must have been the ones I bought it from on eBay. I bought the Jason Goes to Hell bootleg 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, before that box set came out.
Did you like it? Did it look
the
good?
transfer looked fantastic. It looks like a fucking high definition transfer.
I've been happy.
I got the Warriors theatrical cut.
The
bootleg looks You got it too?
Well, not that, but I was gonna say I've been happy with all of the Spanish boots.
Yeah.
Spanish releases that I've got from them. Like
I got Trick or Treat 86. Looks fucking fantastic.
Sure. What's that movie with Clint Howard? Evil Speak. They did a Spanish Evil Speak. I got Evil Speak from Spanish Blue. And I tell you, I popped that son of a bitch in. I dogged that Blu-ray out. It looks so good. I watched it like 5 times. I would say go ahead and get it, but there is an HD stream available of True Lies. Like, people told me, like, hey, if you just rent True Lies on blah 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 on Amazon, whatever, it's HD. And that's probably where that company ripped the movie.
Probably.
They took it straight from the streaming. You know. I have Fright Night Part 2 Blu-ray bootleg. Hey, that's the Spanish Blue I bought too. There's a Spanish 2 Fright Night 2 Blu-ray release that looks good, dude. And the menu screen's great.
I saw that. I almost bought that, but then again, I wasn't sure for $30. But you said it looks good, huh?
Oh, dude, I bought it from Walmart.com.
Really?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Okay.
Me and like 3 or 4 of my friends, we all bought it. I remember Piz ended up buying it. That Spanish Blu-ray of Fright Night 2, dude, it has an amazing menu screen. The menu screen for it is a beautiful HD shot of the poster art college building,
Mm.
and then it plays that "Come to Me" song, that amazing song, the female version for part 2. Just getting it from the menu screen is enough. There's no special features, but it looks like a Blu-ray, dude. It's at least 1080i. Like it's good picture quality. So
I got a Dawn of the Dead bootleg Blu-ray from a couple of years ago too, and it looks fantastic. I'm not sure which cut it is, but it's fantastic. I think it's the theatrical.
yeah. Sorry guys, I'm just now looking at the chat again. How's everybody doing? I've been rambling. Dave wanted to know what copy of Trick or Treat. You said you've got the Spanish.
Yeah, let me
go grab it
real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, go grab it. What's up, chat? I'm sorry. I've been trying to keep up with y'all. I get to rambling. Can't wait for the Abyss to be DNR'd as hell. You ain't kidding. I seen True Lies in theaters. Recently watched VHS 99. And it was great. Prodigy 8, 1988. The best VHS segment in 99 is the casket one with the girls. Fucking love that. I've seen the 4K for the thing, and it looks amazing. I need that Freddy hoodie. Did you just send me a photo of it, La Crypta? Oh, dude, I need that. That's tight. Is Brandon gonna find it? Let's make him solo. That way, when he comes back, he feels weird. He's got something.
I was trying to find the Dawn of the Dead one. I can't see shit, but here's the Trick or Treat. It's called The Ultimate Comeback. I don't know if you can see that very well.
Yeah, I see it. I recognize that. I've got the German Blu-ray.
It totally bootleg. The cover is like a matte. So the disc label's like a matte. It's not even glossy.
That's the number one way to know if something is bootleg, a matte finish.
But the transfer is fan-fucking-tastic. It's fantastic. Same with Jason Goes to Hell.
Well, how's the audio on it? Because all that music. Is it a nice 5.1 or?
It was all stereo. I'm pretty sure, but it says Dolby Digital 2.0 and 5.1, so I guess it has 5.1 on it. So
yeah,
cool.
Look at you at your Spanish blues.
Yeah, the Jason Goes to Hell bootleg was awesome. It really held you over until the box set came out.
Matte finish.
Matte finish. Dude, the original theatrical cut of the Warriors is fantastic. Dude, it's the one I remember watching, I think, on VHS way back in the day. Because that DVD release was awesome, right? But I didn't like all those weird comic booky inserts he put in there for that release. Like where the frame would freeze and turn into a comic book and then kind of like panel down. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I wasn't a fan of that shit.
Yeah.
So this kind of corrects all that.
In terms of the Trick or Treat, Dave says my German Blu-ray of Trick or Treat is not great. Not only that, Dave, I'll tell you what, man, I've got that German Blu-ray for it. The audio on the official release DVD is better, which I have. You know what I'm talking about, with the one where Gene Simmons and Ozzy are on the front.
And there's like a skull. It's like a brown color DVD color. Yeah.
That DVD has better audio than the German Blu-ray. So part of me wants to get that boot that you have. But I have it on, dude, I'm not going to mention the people, but the bottom line is everybody's been talking about this, really. I'm not saying anything that nobody said out loud. The word is Vestron's putting out Trick or Treat soon.
Oh, that would be killer.
Which you still got to pick up. You did. Did you get your Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 through 5?
I did not. It's not coming until the 28th, it says.
Dude, I got to say, I was kind of impressed at how much I like Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Again. I saw your comment. You said you forgot how gory it was or some shit.
Dude, it's like Society gross at the end.
I don't think I've seen 3 or 4 at all. I cannot remember a thing about them. I've seen 3, 1, 2, and 5, I believe.
I think 4 is better than 3. I really do. Like 4 gets, I don't know what the chat thinks. I thought Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 got fucking weird, dude. Like, it's a Brian Usna film, which I love Brian Usna. but it's clearly a Brian using the film, and it gets fucking weird.
It's about a cult, right?
And
Like a sorority house or some shit.
And there's like weird maggot things that Clint Howard. Dude, it gets nasty. But I also I didn't realize that I'm assuming they were made for TV because they're 4:3. And I had the old DVD set that maybe Anchor Bay put out or something. And I remember watching, I was like, oh, they must have got VHS rips of this because the DVDs were in 4:3 too. But the Blu-rays are 4:3. So I think they were shot for television.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturn Video basically sums it up. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is awesome. That's your Society too. Dylan says that 3 is so bad, just horrid. I think 3 is watchable, and it's kind of like cheesy bad. But 4 borderlines on just being like a badass horror film, dude. I think you're actually going to really like 4.
Yeah.
You know, it gets lost in the shuffle because people like 3 for Bill. They talk about 3 for Bill Moseley, and then they talk about The Toy Maker because it's actually a damn good film. But 4, I think, has gotten lost in the shuffle. I'm guilty of it. I loved it watching it the other night. I thought Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 was the tits.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Clint Howard's in it. So how do you not love that?
That's another series that I remember seeing vividly on VHS shelves was the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies 1, 2, 4, and 5 especially. I don't remember the 3 cover that well, but 2 with like the gun on the ornament and the Toy Maker, obviously, and then 4 was like an all white cover with like a chick's face and a knife, I think.
I want to say 3's wasn't much different than that. It was a shot of this broad's face.
Yeah,
but
The Howling too, man. Those movies were all over Videoland.
Dude,
The Howling. Those things had fantastic. Haven't seen most of those movies, but the VHS covers were fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, Ali. And that's a nasty ass looking maggot. I gotta watch the special features on 3. Danielle, I was just enjoying the films. Vestron should do the Leprechaun movies. Well, the thing is, Lionsgate put those movies out themselves. They didn't even put Leprechaun out through the Vestron label. I mean, Leprechaun still has somewhat of a marquee presence. Like those movies, I think they still sell, and because those Leprechaun collections have been out since 2015, and they're obviously still pressing that stuff because they stay on store shelves, so they must be selling them, man. And that's a good Do you have that Leprechaun Blu-ray set?
I do.
You probably get it. You probably get it very cheap, and there's interviews on them. Like they got director interviews and stuff like that on those. So the Leprechaun titles must sell. I got a gorgeous steelbook of the Leprechaun collection where they did it right. The artwork is the original poster from the first movie, with him opening up the door and peeking through. Dude,
did you see the newest one, Leprechaun Returns?
Fucking loved it.
Was it good?
I think it's the second or third best one. I really do.
I've only seen the scene where you hear the woman's voice who sounds like Jennifer Aniston.
Yes,
that was pretty legitimate. You know what I mean? Like from that's the only thing I've seen though.
Lyndon Porco, I believe, is the gentleman's name that replaced Warwick Davis.
Mm.
And he was phenomenal. And the thing that's so great about his Leprechaun is he has that high-pitched kind of Leprechaun voice, but you don't really understand his words that well. So it's almost like he mumbles or almost speaks this broken language. I mean, if you put the subtitles on, you'll understand it. But every now and again, some of his sentences, they get a little mumbly. And I loved that. I'm not trying to excuse it, but it really worked for me. And the gore was hysterical. They brought back Ozzy from the first movie. It's a tie-in to the first movie. I thought Leprechaun Returns was phenomenal for a television film, legitimate television film, because it premiered on Sci-Fi, which I watched it. Old school, man, live on TV. I watched it.
I need to watch it. That fucking Leprechaun Origins movie was atrocious.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't know why they even include that in the box set. It's not even the same type of Leprechaun. Like, why?
It's bad.
Why is that even in there?
Because it's got the name Leprechaun. That
What
case,
is
they
the
made
worst? What not to get off on a Leprechaun tangent, but what is the worst Leprechaun besides Origins? Because that does not fucking count.
All right, let's break this down.
Yeah, Origins does not exist.
I think let's break this down film by film. I'm serious. So Leprechaun from '93, I think, is hysterical. I like it. I actually think you could have gone one or two ways with that. I think if you actually would have dialed back some of the humor, it could have worked too. But I still think what they did was good. I think it's super entertaining. Leprechaun 2, I think, is in some ways better than the first one. But the blind haired woman, is literally one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my life. Truly bizarre how bad she is in that movie. I think Leprechaun 3 is the fan favorite for so many reasons. The cast is great. The Las Vegas works. The humor is off the charts. I think some days Leprechaun 3 is the best one. Carolyn Williams is in Leprechaun 3 too.
Yeah, she explodes. Great
She
scene.
does. I think Leprechaun 3 could be the best one.
Probably is, I guess.
Leprechaun 4 in space, that's where a lot of people are like, that's where it kind of stops for me. I like Leprechaun 4 in space, but it's ridiculous, but it knows it is, and it's not doing anything but being ridiculous. Leprechaun in the Hood and Back to the Hood, I could take or leave. I would say Back to the Hood's probably the worst one.
Really? I thought it was better than the first Hood movie. Somehow.
I'm sorry. No, that's actually what I meant. I'm sorry. I meant Back to the Hood is better than Into Hood.
The Ice-T one. Yeah.
I think Back to the Hood's better. That's actually what I really meant, but it could be that. Yeah. I mean, because Leprechaun Returns, I think, is top 2 or 3. I'd like for you to check that out. I thought it was fucking awesome, and it really stayed in the vein of Leprechaun. Like they didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I thought it was damn good, dude. I really did. But here's the question: have you seen Rumpelstiltskin?
Oh yeah, I think we've talked about this. I fucking love Rumpelstiltskin. Okay,
that's one of the best, dude. Same director. It's like he was going for this thing of like making these Munchkin horror character movies. But Rumpelstiltskin has no business being as good as it is. I've got the VHS for it. That's the only way I can watch the film. And besides getting a bootleg of it, dude, that movie is ripe for a Blu-ray, because think of the audience it would get.
Oh yeah.
People need to see Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh yeah.
And that's got Vestron written all over it, because that was under Republic Pictures, I think, or something. It was a very small label, but I'm sure it's a subsidiary of Lionsgate. I'm sure, because I think it was under the TriStar umbrella at the time. Dude, TriStar was the biggest thing since sliced bread for a while. You know.
Yeah, the scene where he's driving the semi truck is fantastic. Where he dumps the motorcycles, fucking comedy, fantastic. And there's a scene too, right, where she's trying to go into the shower with her boyfriend, and it ends up being him in the shower, right? That's in that movie, correct? Yes.
Right.
Rumpelstiltskin, that movie is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, and Kevin Yeager did the makeup effects for Rumple, and they're fucking good, dude. Dude, the fact that I went into Rumpelstiltskin thinking it was going to be this medieval, silly-ass movie, and then literally 35 minutes into it, he steals an 18-wheeler and starts raising hell. I was like, dude, this is the best movie I've never seen in my life. Like, what the fuck?
Did the same filmmakers who made Rumpelstiltskin, did they make Pinocchio's Revenge by any chance? Because I always lump those together for some reason.
I don't think so. But I'll tell you, dude, Pinocchio's Revenge is like literally the greatest thing ever. I have the laser disc of that. I bought it sealed, and I sure enough cracked it right the fuck open so I could watch it. Pinocchio's Revenge is dude, that has Vinegar Syndrome written all over it for a Blu-ray. 4K. Screw it. Vinegar Syndrome doesn't play around anymore. They go straight to 4K. Dude, holy shit. Pinocchio's Revenge is amazing.
It is.
I love that movie. But who gives their daughter, I have not watched In Search of Darkness 3 yet. When it hits Shudder, I will. Who gives their daughter police evidence as a birthday present? Like, think about that. There's a crime scene. Pinocchio is found at the crime scene. It's literal police evidence. And the mom's like, fuck it. Just give it to my kid. Like, what the fuck?
Ridiculous.
But then again, Pinocchio's Revenge already sounds ridiculous. That must be public domain. Otherwise, no way that company could have afforded to get the rights for a character like that.
Yeah, it definitely is that story at least. But I feel like the costume came really close to the Disney version too, like the color scheme and shit. I don't know how they got away with it.
I don't know. CHH needs to put up his Rumpelstiltskin poster. Dude, you were 1,000% right. I have a Rumpelstiltskin 27x40.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is that not on your wall? That's perfect.
Because I'm a jackass.
Dude, that's perfect.
I need to put that back up. You're totally right, Cody. Have not seen Pinocchio's Revenge. Which year is it from? City, can you do me a favor? Can you go snag that Pinocchio's Revenge Laserdisc for me?
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, just whenever you can, City. No rush. Pinocchio's Revenge is from 96. I want to say it was the heartbeat before Scream, but Scream hit like in January of 96, so it probably came out after Scream.
Something like that.
But I've got the DVD of it. You know what kind of... There's only one DVD for Pinocchio's Revenge, Brandon, and it's a full screen.
So of course it is. Why would it be?
It's a full screen. But the Laserdisc is widescreen. So if you want to watch the movie widescreen, you have to have a Laserdisc. And the back of the Laserdisc is amazing looking.
Oh, yeah.
You know. What's the chances of Vestron putting out Dr. Giggles? I don't know who the fuck made Dr. Giggles. That's a great question. Let me see.
I can't wait to pick up The Dentist, man.
Dude, don't get me started. Those are Brian Usna classics.
I'm gonna stop getting fucking those releases through Amazon and just go straight to my Best Buy.
Dude,
they had everything there. They had everything there from there, but fucking the Silent Night, Deadly Night box set. All the other ones were there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why didn't I just get the shit here? So Universal Pictures distributed Dr. Giggles.
Holy shit.
That was a theatrical movie. I remember seeing that poster in AMC. That was a big deal movie. I forgot all about this, dude, how big Dr. Giggles was at the time.
Dude, the best line from Dr. Giggles. If you think that hurts, wait till you see my bill.
I'm having an acid flashback right now.
Yeah, there you go.
That's crazy.
If I get the glare out, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look at that.
Here's the back. The back creeps me out because it's like you get a shot of Pinocchio.
Yeah, dude, that cover was that VHS was all over every fucking video rental store everywhere. That and Rumpelstiltskin. I swear to God, they were always side by side.
I need the Rumpelstiltskin Laserdisc, dude.
No, you need to put that fucking poster back up on your wall. That's what you need to do.
I am. Yeah. I need to. Yeah, but dude, that's one of my favorite Laserdiscs.
I'm looking up movies from the 90s that came out around the same time as Rumpelstiltskin and Pinocchio. And there's not as many as I thought there were, but there is one that I saw as a kid and was awesome at the time. I need to watch it again. Sleep Stalker.
Oh, yeah.
That movie?
Sleep Stalker's awesome.
Yes. That's crazy, man. I forgot all about this fucking movie.
Yeah. Wow. Man, I used to spend some coin on Laserdisc, dude. Literally from like 2010 to 2015. Just hardcore. There was actually a time where when Scream Factory was coming around and they were putting up movies like Prison, I would go like that would be where I would hear about the film, and then I'd go to get the Laserdisc. I have the Laserdisc of Prison. I bought it when Scream Factory put out on Blu-ray. I was like, well, I'm gonna get the Laserdisc of it instead of the Blu-ray because the Laserdisc is cooler.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So, but this is Vidmark Entertainment. That's 1,000% of Lionsgate subsidiary. They got absorbed. So Pinocchio's Revenge is literally ripe. Dude, Pinocchio's Revenge is a perfect Vestron video release. Why have they not done this yet?
I'm sure it's coming for sure.
There's so many good titles that Vestron could do. Like, could you imagine if Vestron had this kind of year? Think about this: Rumpelstiltskin, Pinocchio's Revenge, Trick or Treat, Fright Night 2. Imagine if that was Vestron Video's year.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Are you kidding me?
I'd buy all those titles too.
I'd buy them twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd buy like 2 Rumpelstiltskins and I would keep 1 shrink wrapped.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I'm seeing Johnny Darko said, have you ever seen City of the Living Dead? Of course, I prefer the Gates of Hell title, but that movie would be great in 4K as long as the transfer was good.
It's coming, baby. Cauldron Video, and I'm getting it. I'm just not going to get the special super deluxe edition.
Yeah.
Cauldron Video is a new label, but they're good.
Do you have the Zombie 2 4K that came out a year or 2 ago?
No, I've got the 4K scan Blu-ray.
That's what I have too. I have the Blu-ray and then the 4K scan. And the 4K scan regular Blu-ray, I felt was night and day upgrade from the regular Blu-ray. So I'm really curious to see what the 4K looks like.
I think you'd see as long as you've got the proper setup, you've got your, you got a good 4K TV and all that stuff, you'd probably see a little bit more dynamic range on it. But dude, sometimes like those 4K scan Blu-rays are just good enough. Like, I mean, seriously, I can't upgrade it ever, especially with Blue Underground. The problem was those 4Ks came out too close. Like
they did.
I got Maniac, Zombie, House by the Cemetery, the New York Ripper, pretty quick all together on 4K scan Blu-rays. And then literally the next year they dropped the 4K for Zombie. And I was like, it's too soon. I invested $40 in these releases.
Yeah.
They came with the CD soundtrack, which is cool. That, so I don't think I'm upgrading any of those titles.
Yeah.
The only ones that got the only ones that I upgraded were some that my buddy Kyle sent to me, and I'm so glad he sent me God Told Me To, which I think is actually some days the best Larry Cohen movie ever. And that 4K looked fantastic.
Wow.
And Maniac Cop 2 and 3. And I got to be honest, dude, Maniac Cop 2 and 3 looked fucking insane on 4K.
Really?
I mean, they really did. But Blue Underground does it right. William Lustig, he's got the resources to restore those movies properly. It's a crapshoot though, man. I get it. I really get why people are just like, I'm not doing 4K. I'm not doing it. They're just fine with Blu-rays. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Have you seen Dead Presidents from 95? I haven't seen that, Marco.
Dead Presidents is fantastic. It's not a horror movie.
Have you seen Frailty?
I don't think so.
Oh shit, dude. Frailty's amazing.
Wait, let me look this up. Is that the one there's like a black cover, red lettering, and there's like a girl? Yes, Frailty. Okay, that is that one. It's the dude from it's Pinkman, right? From Breaking Bad.
I don't know. This is a Bill Paxton movie I'm talking about.
No, it's
Frailty's
the guy on the cover looks like Jesse Pinkman.
Maybe it does. But dude, Frailty's one of the best movies that the average person may not have seen. For some reason, my mom rented that when I was a kid, and she made me watch it, and it fucked my world up twice. It's like a psychological. Well, not really psychological. That's not true. But the cast is amazing. I think McConaughey's in it.
He is. I'm looking at the photos right now.
Dude, Frailty is amazing. It's like these 2 kids have their dad, and the dad just kind of loses his shit one day, and he's like, God has called me to kill demons on this earth. And that's what he starts doing on Earth. And then you're wondering, what the fuck's going on? Is this real or not? I don't want to spoil it, but Frailty was amazing. And then it just kind of like, look at the chat, man. Look, I don't have to say anything else. Like, look at the chat. They're speaking it. It really is one of the better titles ever, especially from its time, dude. It fucked my world as a kid. Fuck my world.
I need to check that out, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Dave, I feel you. I mean, it's just like the stuff came quick, dude. Like when I got those 4K scan Blu-rays from Blue Underground, it seemed like literally a few days later, boom, here's the 4Ks. And look, that's business. That's fine. The problem with Scream Factory, though, I say the problem, but the issue is, look, Escape from New York came out in like 2013, and the 4K just hit in America this past year. So it's almost, I wonder if the dilemma is really any better or different. It's like, well, shit, I just bought all these movies not long ago on 4K, on Blu-ray, and here they are on 4K, or even if it's years apart, like with Scream Factory, you say to yourself, oh, or you say to yourself, you know, shit, am I really gonna re-upgrade all these titles again, you know? Which I've fallen victim to that because, man, once you see how good 4K can look, Brandon, it's almost like a drug.
Yeah.
And you want to see it for everything. And, you know, it's a dangerous game, man. But you really got to just figure out what you want. And then you just can't upgrade everything. But that I guarantee that Roadhouse probably looks fucking insane.
You haven't watched it yet?
I don't have it. I never.
That's right. Yeah, I can't wait to crack that shit open and watch it.
I'm kind of hoping they just do a regular release for it. But then again, that release is so gorgeous. I'm so tempted to be like, you know.
You know, I have to say, like, I did the unboxing for them yesterday. I recorded it. It's going to come out Wednesday. But I'm cracking these big Vinegar Syndrome titles open, Texas Chainsaw 2 and Roadhouse. And don't get me wrong, I'm so glad they're putting out titles, and I've heard nothing but good things about the 4K scans. I'm excited about that. That's awesome, fantastic, all the power to them. But, like, there's something, as I'm opening these box sets, I'm like, okay, I don't really see what I really, why did I pay $45 for this? This is, I mean, it's cool packaging, but it just wasn't, it didn't blow my mind like I thought it would. You know what I mean?
None of it ever really does.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that sucks too is just like, dude, they get you with the title, and they're getting you like when you've heard Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was getting a 4K, your allegiance to that film.
Yes.
You know, I'm guilty. I will say though,
same with Roadhouse.
Yeah, I will say though that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 looks good, and it's a beautiful release. It's almost like a trophy. A memorandum, like congratulations for becoming a cult classic film. Yeah. You know,
that's the thing is
Jason brings up a good point too. It really is like a like Casino is one of the best I've ever seen, and that was just a mainstay title that got put up by Universal. I think that wasn't a boutique label.
I need to get for Casino in 4K.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah. If the transfer looks great, that's fantastic. But still, that's still $40. It's like, come on.
And then you have And sometimes I wonder, is it better for us as collectors to get away from the bougie stuff? Right. Like let's just put the movie out, screw the slipcovers, cut every bit of cost, put out the movie, boom.
Yeah, because they're gonna keep charging those prices if we keep buying them. But if fucking Point Break comes out tomorrow and that kind of 4K set, I'm paying $60 for it. If I don't care.
For what now?
If they were to say Point Break's coming out tomorrow and that kind of release, I'll pay $60 for it.
That'll get a 4K. That'll get a 4K eventually.
I'm gonna talk shit, but I'm always gonna hand out money for it. So that's the problem.
Yes, Return of Living Dead is absolutely worth buying in 4K. The movie is substantially better than the Blu-ray. I can stand firm on that. Maybe not everybody will agree because it seems like everybody just has their thought process on this, but in my opinion, the 4K for Return of Living Dead was phenomenal, especially with the half corpse scene. It was amazing how good it looked. Then you've got the mono soundtrack, which I love for that movie. It's robust. It's in your face. Sometimes, like these 5.1 stereo mixes, they're way too goddamn trebly and bright. And those classic just mono soundtracks are awesome.
You said Tarman's voice was restored, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask you a question. I think you might have told me this.
There's a song though that's still missing in the soundtrack. Is it still missing? For legal reasons. I forget the name of the song. As he says, "Look alive," and he closes the door. There's a laugh, and a song is supposed to play. That song is still gone, huh? It's replaced by
really, dude. Come on,
licensing. They tried.
I'm gonna
They tried.
have to fucking get the VHS and fucking rip the audio and make my own fucking Blu-ray
It's on
version of
my.
it.
It's excuse me. The original soundtrack's on my Japanese Laserdisc.
Dude, that scene plays out so awkwardly without that song there. It just
I
doesn't.
hear
It's
you.
there's too much of like a silence there. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know what
Obviously,
the deal is.
it doesn't ruin the fucking movie, but like that's bullshit. Like
Most
come
people
on.
don't even know about it anymore because they're so used to
Yeah,
the releases now.
and that's for the best. But still, it's really bothersome.
Yeah. That Roadhouse is worth it. CHH. The package is Chef Kiss and the train. Oh, I'm guarantee you it is. It looks beautiful. Roadhouse was a marquee title, probably the biggest marquee title Vinegar Syndrome's ever gotten.
Yeah.
Arguably. I mean, even though you could say like, Amityville Horror possibly. Roadhouse was like a big fucking deal back in the day.
Are you surprised that they got the license to do Roadhouse? That's a
Shocked.
big title. That's
I
a
was
big
shocked.
title.
I almost thought it was a joke at first. Like,
Is that
people
the
were
biggest
faking it.
title they've done? The most mainstream marquee title they have?
You could say Amityville Horror,
True.
but in terms of like pop culture,
Yeah.
Roadhouse, it's arguable to say Roadhouse.
If they got Point Break, that would put them on the fucking map. Not that
I
they're
mean-
already not on the map, but like Point
I
Break
mean,
would
dude,
be a monster.
Think about this. Like, Vinegar Syndrome had Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Amityville Horror, and
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Mm.
Imagine what they're going to try to do next year. I mean, they're clearly going for it, and I think they're outbidding Scream Factory on renewing some of these licenses. Like, why would Scream Factory not do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yep.
You're gonna put out Species on 4K, but you're not gonna do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? Come on, like, what's going on here? Do you think they just hedged their bet there, and we're just like, it's not worth it. We got enough. I think the Halloweens probably sucked a lot of resources from Scream Factory, which I think they did the right thing, quite frankly, because guess what? People buy those goddamn Halloween films.
Yep,
they do.
And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Going back to Roadhouse real quick, in its defense, that fucking 4K thing I got, it does come with a really cool booklet, which I haven't read yet, but it's a pretty thick little like packet booklet inside, like reading material. I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. TCM2 didn't have that from what I saw. I don't think it had like a booklet or anything inside. Not that I need it, but those little things make it cooler.
No, TCM2 has, like, you pull it out of that nice hard shell box. Then it's got the double-sided embroidered slip, which the thing they did so great was they gave you the Breakfast Club poster, and they gave you the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 poster, which I prefer. I don't prefer it. I love the Breakfast Club, but that poster where he's buzzing through the door,
yeah,
that shit. So the Vinegar Syndrome Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, dude, like, you see the money on the release. That's worth it. That one, because like I said, the second disc, literally all new interviews.
Yeah,
all new.
I'm stoked.
So that could be my favorite. I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite release of the year. Truly, my favorite release of the year.
Yeah, Garrett's in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Garrett?
Dude, Vinegar Syndrome is, and slap me if I'm talking about Vinegar Syndrome too much, but like that website is bizarre to me. Like, I love perusing their releases, but like I said this before, they have a fantastic collection of horror movies and action movies, right? But then like there'll just be like a porno. Like, it's like either horror movies or action movies or pornos on that site.
Yeah, they got porn.
It's hilarious to me.
They got porn.
Everything's just mixed up, and I'm like, okay, there's this one. What the hell is this about,
dude? They are, in terms of like knowing what the pulse is of the collector, they're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, they have a subscription service where if you pay X amount of dollars a month, you fucking just, like, people pay to get all their releases. And then
That's
they're so
cool.
Dude, they're so genius. Hobgoblins is a piece of shit.
I saw that release.
And then these sons of a bitches.
I saw that.
they make this Picasso art slipcover
Oh, it looked fantastic.
and they did it to sell through the fucking backstock. You will not convince me otherwise. They make this beautiful slip they took a beautiful slip to put on a piece of shit to go through backstock Hobgoblins,
Dude.
and I guarantee you they moved some Hobgoblin Blu-rays.
Dude, I almost fucking bought it on Black Friday when I saw it. I'm like, I might have to buy this.
Was I ringing in your ear though? Like,
you were
piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit.
Do they have the birds too on 4K? I'm like, what, dude, what the hell is going on here? What is happening?
To grab that. I swear to God, I'm grabbing it eventually.
Speaking of Swayze, I feel like, Point Break would be fantastic, but I feel like they're such a weird company that they're going to do Black Dog on a 4K release. That's a title I could see them doing.
Yeah. You know what's a title that I would love to see have a 4K too, and Vinegar Syndrome could do it? Frogs.
Frogs.
Remember Frogs?
I do.
That movie freaked me out as a kid.
What movie is better, Frogs or is it Snails? Which one?
I haven't seen Snails. I just remember Frogs was the first DVD my family bought after Jaws. We got the MGM DVD of Frogs with who's in that movie? Sam Elliott. Mm-hmm. He's the photographer. Remember? He's a photographer taking pictures of fucking animals and dude, they use real animals in Frogs. Like those big, and if for the chat, if you guys haven't seen that, Frogs is a masterpiece. Dude, that movie's scary as fuck.
Not to be confused with Toads.
No, not Toads. Dude, in the movie Frogs, they get some power plant frogs. I mean, those some bitches are the size of footballs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's snakes and fucking dragons in that movie. That is all real animals. If they made that movie today, it'd be CGI bullshit. Dude, Frogs is fucking awesome. That was a double feature with The Hand That Feeds Something. Food of the Gods. It's a double feature. See if that's available on Amazon, guys. Frogs, Blu-ray. And if it is at a decent price, get it. Because Frogs is amazing. That movie scares the shit out of me because it's all real animals. I start feeling like they're in my house. It freaks me out. That movie fucked me up, though, dude.
Frogs, yeah.
It did.
Dude, Vinegar Syndrome should do a big box 4K release of Jaws the Revenge. Could you imagine?
I'd love it. I'd love it. Well, I think Universal will cave because, they did the 4K of Jaws. That's one of the best ever. But, Universal always puts time and money into that title. Mm-hmm. I think they should do a 4K triple pack of 2, 3, and 4. Sell it as a package deal. Do the Jaws collection, 4K collection, and make it 2, 3, 4. Figure out how to just buy Jaws 5, a movie that literally stole images from Cruel Jaws, and just buy it back. Severin put that out and they had to pull it.
Really?
Yeah, like they got fucked over.
Wow.
They got the rights to the movie, but then the movie uses clips from Jaws. So then they were like, fuck. I bought it, and then it got pulled like not long after that. Cruel Jaws is terrible.
I've never seen it, I don't think.
Oh, dude.
Is there any place you can actually watch it in its entirety?
Probably YouTube.
Let me see here.
Cruel Jaws is probably on YouTube.
Is it all reused footage, or is there some like regular footage too?
It's a movie, but they take some shots.
Dude, it's on YouTube in its entirety.
Yeah,
uploaded 8 months ago, has 733,000 views already. Dude, I've got to review this movie.
You need to.
Cruel. I've never heard of this movie.
Oh, dude, I never either. But when Severin was putting it out, I did the research and I was like, oh, okay, Cruel Jaws. So,
Cruel Jaws, holy shit.
Yeah. Yes, it has the Hulk Hogan look-alike. Brother.
Oh, man. Hulk Hogan.
Well, Brandon, this has been fun, man. We're only on 2 hours.
We are. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. This was great. Do you have any or just tell the people what do you've got coming up? I know it's got Christmas and everything. Is the channel going to be taking a break this week? You got stuff in the can?
I've got stuff scheduled all this week up until Christmas, and then I have some stuff scheduled for the week after up until New Year's Eve. I got a surprise coming on New Year's Eve also. 2
Right.
surprises, I guess. And I think the channel might take a break in January so I can kind of realign myself with what I want the channel to do in 2023. You know what I mean?
What are your
Not for all of January, but maybe like the first week or two.
What are your goals? What do you want to do? What are your
I want to
plans?
do different content. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep doing movie reviews and stuff like that, but I just need to I want to expand a little bit more.
Well, you know what? Like we were texting earlier. Your pumpkin pail video was so great.
Thank you.
If you could find other stuff to do the history of, I know they're a lot of work, but people love that shit.
Yeah, I was surprised that video hit off like it did. That'd be cool. I would do it on stuff that I have experience with. Like maybe I'll do one on Swamp Thing action figures from the 90s or some shit. I don't know. You're right. That might be fun. That might be killer.
Well, you got to think too. You dropped that pumpkin pail video at the fever pitch of. I mean, like you dropped that video too at the perfect time. You timed it right.
Yep.
You know,
by mistake too, which is hilarious to me because we didn't know the fucking pails were confirmed.
Oh, so you had already started working on that then?
I worked on that for a while
because it's good
to do one, and then there was the rumblings. Oh, they're going to do it this year, and like it wasn't confirmed until like a week or two after that video.
The 1990 pails were my favorite. Was that the one when was that the
90
purple?
Was probably the best. No, the purple was 90. I'm fucking up right now. I think the purple was 92 or 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that video though.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna reassess. You're gonna see what I mean. I love the Just the Thoughts, but
I've been doing more short ones too lately. Have you noticed them back to the 1 to 2 minute versions now?
I like them though, dude. They work for me.
Yeah,
you know
they're fun to do, but I want to do some long form video essays too, like 10-15 minute stuff. Shit like that. I want to do some of that kind of stuff. The problem is that's so much time, as you know. It takes so much time to do long form stuff. That's
I know it, dude. And I always feel like, how do I keep it in? How do I make it a video to where people keep watching?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I think sometimes I take for granted. It's better to have longer videos. I mean, in terms of just the ad breaks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's great too. But it's like, man, you got to keep. It's like, what do I do to keep the people watching these damn videos? So I don't know, man. I'll get complaints like, hey, you need to make longer videos. So I try to. But I feel like we've talked about there's 2 attention spans. 2 minutes and 2 hours.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I always feel like, is it smart to make 10-minute videos? But I don't know.
Maybe the sweet spot is 25 to 30 minute videos so people can drive to work or from work and listen to your entire video. Like that's the whole drive right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the sweet spot keeps changing form. So there's never like there's never the parameters to hit the sweet spot. So what about you? What do you have going on in the new year?
I'll tell you what we got coming up. Unita Candles is going to take over the world. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Check this out. I was showing you this earlier. So for the Unita Candles fan, we got Ghostbusters launching. And this is the awesome. Ghostbusters. So I told Sydney I love the real Ghostbusters. So I want the Ghostbuster that dances in the beginning of the cartoon.
Yeah.
And then she put the logo, the whatever logo on the front. And these are nice and blue. Let me see what they smell like.
Tell me they smell like marshmallows.
Well, not this one, but we have another. We have. Guess what does smell like marshmallow? The Stay Puft one.
Oh, cool.
That makes sense. Right. We got the Ninja Turtle ones hitting too in early January.
Krang. Mountain Dew. That's awesome.
Look at what he's holding.
Yep, that's killer. An old school Mountain Dew can. It looks like.
Yep. Yeah. How do you not love Krang?
Fantastic.
And then, of course, we have the turtles, and I'll show one of them.
Killer.
Got the Raphael one. Watermelon candy.
Perfect. Do you guys have all 4 of them?
Oh yeah,
Do you guys have a shredder?
Sydney, go grab the shredder.
Dude, yes.
But yeah, I was telling Sydney I'm super nervous about launching the Turtles in January because we've done a lot of horror and we still got horror. Don't worry, guys. We've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre we're doing and all that, Psycho, all that stuff. But we need to also do some non-horror stuff with the candles.
Okay, well, I have a couple of requests. I'm going to say it live here so everybody in the comments can agree with me. I'm requesting formally, Christian. I'm requesting a Point Break scent that smells like sea foam, sand, and I don't know, something else. I'm requesting a So I Married an Axe Murder scent that smells like leather and roses or some weird shit like that. And I want a Slime City scent.
Slime City?
Yes.
Okay, and Slime City is actually a really good idea. All right, here's two more that are going to be coming in January. We got the Slimer.
Look at that.
Ectoplasm. So it smells like the Ecto Cooler drink.
Oh, cool. Like a kiwi, like lemon lime kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's green.
Nice.
And then, of course, we've got, I told Sydney, if we're doing Ninja Turtles, we have to.
Yes.
And look at Sydney drew that. She made that art. That's original.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
He's got a pizza on his hook. So we got the shredder wax melt. And this is tomato leaf.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the tomato leaf actually, like this one smells really fucking good.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about that.
And look at the back. Sydney actually made it look like, I forgot, she made it look like pizza.
Yeah, that's killer.
Dude, that one smells really fucking good. So these will be available. We got the Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtle line dropping in early January. So I'm super excited. People love those. People really loved the New Year's Evil candles, and we got yours, dude. How does that feel? That your face is on those, like you're on the top sticker.
Oh, it's pretty killer, man. That's pretty killer. New Year's Evil is going to take over New Year's this year. I swear.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to take over, man.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, man, it's always fun.
Tis.
We had a lively show. We got 83 people in here right now. So thank you guys for hanging out. It was great. Me and Nick are recording a podcast episode tomorrow night, so that'll be up this week. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably it's going to be an episode where we talk. Which are usually my favorite ones to do.
Well, you guys are reviewing Hobgoblins 2 tomorrow, right?
Somebody's got to pay me 500 cash.
That's right.
500 cash to do Hobgoblins 2.
There you go, people.
And I'll watch it.
Money.
Yeah.
Fork over the money.
Please drop a like on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Very much appreciated. Yeah. So thank you guys. That was a fun show. We actually stayed on topic for a good portion of it.
The first 14 minutes we stayed on VHS topic. It was good.
I feel accomplished. Oh shit. Well, all right, chat. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Good night.